is priority. You can have it be I met this person, old contact.
I'd say that changes when I meet them at our big events like family reunion 26, family reunion 25.
What about past clients if they've done business with you, right?
Yeah.
Past client.
Descriptions help too.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
My hair salon.
Physical descriptions, yeah.
Thursday night hair salon.
Yeah, whatever helps,
Yes.
because they like that familiarity.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you remember me? And not quite.
Yeah, important dates, all that fun stuff. Yeah, what about if they rent their own?
Yeah.
But
Anything else?
This
Maybe
also,
occupation.
Occupation, yeah.
this also seems like a list of things that you will get over time. You're not gonna get this when
Right.
you first get the
Exactly. So that's why I kind of put them over here. These are the things you absolutely have to have. This list. Like as quick as you can get these things. And then over time, as you talk to them, and we'll talk about how to get this information, these things will naturally come up in conversation. People want to talk about themselves, right?
Yes.
All you have to do is listen. They will tell you everything you need to know and be an active listener. Take notes. Especially if you're like on a phone call, you can be in your command typing notes as they talk. Which is probably the way you need to do it, because if you're like me, you'll forget the second you hang up the phone. Unfortunately. So, occupation. All right. I feel like it's a pretty comprehensive list right there.
What about the time frame, like the person's looking to buy and sell it out?
Yeah, so that will come a little bit later. This is building out your database. Once you get into, you've had a conversation, you've had a buyer or seller consultation, then you can get into timeline, things of that nature that are like more transaction specific, right? All right. So you absolutely have to have first name and last name, cell phone number, email address, physical address, and then past record of business, if any, if they've done, and this doesn't necessarily have to mean if they're a past client. Maybe they referred somebody to you. Maybe a friend of theirs referred them to you. You know, if any connection they have to your business can go under past business or past, you know, maybe they're not past client, you know. Any questions? So those are the things that you absolutely have to have. And then in your other notes, you have things like spouse, children, pets, when their birthday is, when their kid's birthday is, when their kid graduated the 5th grade, you know, marriage or homeowner anniversaries, the last thing you talked about when you had conversation, connections to other places. For me personally, a big source of my leads come from my book club. So in my phone, I mark them as who they are, book club. So I know where I met them. In your notes, you'll want to put needs and wants, you know, price points, pre-approval status, things that you kind of talk about. Have they been, you know, pre-approved with a lender? If they're renting or owning, family members' names. Are they in book club? Do they play soccer with your kid? Do they go to your church? Things like that.
And enjoy the joke when you have all of that and you still can't remember.
Yeah.
I got it written down.
You got everything. You're like, oh,
Still.
who is this person? Not a clue.
Get it on out.
Mhm.
And if you only have their Facebook information. So is that number 3? And how would you get?
DM them on Facebook.
Yeah, say,
You're like, hey.
I don't know who you are, but.
So like, are you talking about somebody you're friends with on Facebook already?
We're friends because they asked,
Okay.
but I don't know them.
So you can go ahead and be like, hey, you know, it's nice to meet you. I appreciate your friend request. Do we know each other? Because they might know you if you don't know that. Just start a conversation. Be like, hey, do we know each other? My memory's terrible. I had people reaching out to me that I knew from middle school, and I'm like, Who are you? Not a clue.
And that's a good thing too, say you know a person, but you don't know a lot of details. So you can go on Facebook, and Facebook will tell you a lot about a person. So you can make that a note too.
You've
So
heard
you
that.
may not even have to ask, because they got dollars for the advertising.
You have to
Maybe
do
I have to
social media.
Ask about a spouse, because you see it.
And it's all of this part of Lee and Jen sitting there for 3 hours, going through Facebook, looking for clues. Is that what he's doing?
Not necessarily. We're gonna talk about kind of what Legion looks like. This would be either in your prep time for Legion, if they're on the list of people that you need to call, doing your research. Sometimes people do that right before Legion. Sometimes people do that the night before, if they already have a list of people that they're calling. Or that could be in your, maybe this is somebody who called you about a listing that you had, or they got your information somewhere, and now you have their contact information and you can go research them after. The research will either come before or after. It's not supposed to be during your active Legion time.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. So, this is my favorite part. Your sphere of influence. Who can tell me what your sphere of influence is?
Your friends.
Right? Friends, family, who else? Co-workers. Who else? Church members?
Neighbors.
Neighbors? What about business partners?
Yeah.
Mhm. So your sphere of influence are people who know, like, and trust you, and you know, like, and trust them. They are your inner circle. These are what we would call your VIPs, right? They're the people who are your biggest fans. They're going to support you in everything you do. They're going to send you referrals. They're going to use you every time they sell a house. These are going to be your most important people. Hopefully. Well, if they don't, you know. I say that sometimes with family, I would encourage. Sometimes working with family is not the right move. Family can be complicated. But, you know, they're going to support you in everything you do anyway. So maybe they'll send somebody else to you, but they will, you know, we're getting into these. Anyway. I ain't going on about that part. So we're going to talk about who would you consider to be your sphere of influence. So on page 39, you've got a list. And I want you guys to write down who's in your sphere of influence. You've got 15 slots. See if you can fill them. Who would those people be?
People or role,
People.
actual names.
Actual names. Who is in your sphere of influence?
Maybe start your phone.
Yep.
I don't know. You know, your phone contacts.
Who's your best friend? Your mom. Maybe you've got a really close relationship with your dentist. I don't know your life. Who are the people that are in your specific sphere of influence? Maybe it's your spouse.
Adding to that spouse database is nice.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's something to remember too. You've got a sphere of influence. So does everybody else.
Excuse me, what page are you from?
We're on page 39.
Oh, yeah.
How are you guys? Good, bad, indifferent? You're gonna sit there in silence no matter what I say? Okay, cool, just make sure. Well, it do be like that sometimes. It do. So while y'all are talking, I'm going to tell you about somebody who's at the very top of my sphere of influence, just to give you an idea of sometimes how this works. This girl I met at book club. Justin Bieber can go congrats. I met this girl at book club, and we had a couple of interactions, but we weren't very close. And then we happened to run into each other one day on an off day. I was there working, she was there to write. It's like, hey, come sit with me. And we start talking. And we've got a ton of stuff in common. We run into each other at the bookstore's Halloween party. We sit together, we start talking. We decide to plan a Christmas party together. And we co-host a Christmas party for our friends. And then, you know, I start hanging out with her all the time. And we get closer and closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, I have a conversation with her and her husband about, hey, what's your 5-year plan? And we do their 5-year plan because they're like, we don't want to stay in this house forever. Our family situation is changing. You know, we need to start working on getting towards. I'm like, great. So let's do a 3 to 5 year plan. Let's talk about it. I kid you not 2 weeks after we had that conversation, I get a call. Hey, we need to sell our house. Our family situation has changed drastically and overnight, and we need help. Cool. I've got her house under contract. We're actively looking for them to buy their next home. And on top of that, she's called me and said, hey, my grandmother needs help selling her mom's house. Can you help? So not only do I have 2 deals with her, I have a listing appointment with her great aunt in a week. That's how that works. And I didn't go out looking for business from her. I fostered a relationship with her and it came with it. It doesn't have to be like, hey, who do you know who needs to buy or sell? It could be, hey, how can I help? Right? She can talk about that. Hey, what do you need from me? Hey, what questions do you have that I can help answer? You know, coming at it from a place of servitude and helpfulness. And it'll build itself. Who has an example of their sphere of influence they want to share? Yeah.
So in my business, before I've done business spotlights,
Yeah.
I'm dual career, so I have a full-time job. So
Yeah.
I tend to facilitate and do things with those areas or places that I'm at frequently.
Yeah.
So in my community, there is a plaza, so the nail salon is in one, restaurant is down here. There's a spa, and at the time, my girlfriend had a brick and mortar store. So I used to do business spotlights.
Mhm.
So I would make sure that part of what I gave away, I would do a raffle, and it would always be a gift voucher for that business. So it feeds back into that business. And I used to set up for my girlfriend and wouldn't get a lot of foot traffic in her store, so I wouldn't get a lot. But she and I kept a relationship. So she had closed the brick and mortar, and probably after, within 4 months of closing, you know, we were texting or whatever, and she said, hey, I got a question for you. What's up? She said, if I sold, if we listed the house, what do you think you could get it for? So we're going through some things. So I was like, well, are you working with an agent? She was like, when we said it was gonna be you, this is the situation, but the relationship we built was never intending to directly help her. I wanted to be able to have that vehicle of her store and her client to build the lead. But it was literally a listing.
Yeah.
We got it sold. They sold that one. She moved into an apartment. A month after being in an apartment, she sends me this picture of this house. She was like, my next one. I was like, you ready? She was like, not yet, I'm just getting prepared. So, you know, let's keep this in, we'll keep this in mind when I get to that point for the next.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it was helpful, and we still have, you know, still have a good relationship. outside of the business aspect.
Absolutely. So you would call that a B2B or business to business. Those relationships are super important. And oftentimes they'll lead to a personal relationship with that business owner where you'll get to help them directly. I've got a couple of those myself with an esthetician, with a local boutique over here. You know, I've got people that house my cards and they'll hand them out to people. That's super helpful. Maybe you'll get something off of that, maybe you won't, but you're building a relationship with somebody. And that's what's important. Anybody else have something they want to share?
I think if you do your best.
Yeah.
Not to have commission compensation broke. And just come from a sincere place. And know who your father is. Business is gonna come. You know, you just treat it like you're making a new friend. And once you make a new friend, we exchange conversation. We're gonna get to real estate. We don't have to be the first thing, but we'll get.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Okay. So. Who would like to read this one?
After enrolling in bold, Jordan knew the importance of her SOI and followed up to build a massive business.
Subscribe to the MRE podcast for the story on a one-pager. If you're not listening to the MRE podcast or the One Thing podcast, I highly recommend you do it. MRE 8 comes out every Monday and the one-pagers go out every Thursday. I really recommend it. But who here has done bold? Who would like to share a bold success story? Janika. Is she yet?
I would think I have to.
All right. That's all right. You had your hand up. I thought you were ready. Octavia, do you got one?
I do have one.
Okay.
One thing that we did learn in Bold, when you're trying to utilize social media, specifically Facebook, to connect with someone who you know your Facebook friends, but you haven't talked to them in years, but you're trying to connect to get that sphere of influence. If you haven't spoken with them in years and you reach out to them in a messenger, a DM, there's an algorithm that will connect them to be able to see your posts. So you're like, oh my God, we're Facebook friends. I haven't seen any posts, but I didn't know. So you're thinking you're not Facebook friends because you haven't connected and so on. So once you get them in the DM and get that contact, then they'll start seeing your posts. So when you're posting your open houses and your real estate marketing material, they're now seeing it. And 99% of those people had no idea that I was an agent because they weren't seeing my Facebook posts.
Right.
So that's something I learned at home.
Just heads up, on page 41, Jordan Davis's full story is there. I would recommend you read that on your own time if you'd like. But that kind of goes over more of her SOI and her trainer stuff in Bold. I'll give you a bold success story of mine that kind of took a little bit of time to turn around because they don't necessarily happen in those 7 weeks we do Bold. Part of Bold this past year was talking about social media and building your brand. It took me a little while to figure out what that was for me. But now I'm that bookish realtor on Instagram. I kind of focus on bookish content because I read a lot, but also doing educational posts specifically geared towards first-time home buyers. And I posted 5 myths that keep you renting. And it's just a little it's things that we all hear, right? Where it's like, well, it's too expensive. I don't have the money for it. Or I don't know where to start. Or, whatever the reason was. And I posted it, didn't think anything of it. I thought it was cool, but that was it. I had a friend on social media who I had not met in person, by the way, but she follows all my stuff. And I get a message from her. She's like, we've been renting forever and I'm almost 40 and I thought I would never be able to rent. And I saw your post and it inspired me. So what's the worst that can happen? I get denied for a loan. I applied with the mortgage company. I said, what? Let's talk about it. Long story short, she just closed on a house because I got her referred to an agent in Alabama. I have not met this person. But it had to do with finding my brand that, Bold makes you think about those things. How you present yourself online is super important. Social media is super important. You're going to talk about that later in this course. But I wouldn't have even thought about it if it hadn't been for Bold pushing me to think about it. Because I'm kind of anti-social media. I know that's a shocker given my age, but not really for me. But we all got to do it, right? It's part of the job. So Anybody else have a bold success story?
My first year, as a realtor, I participated in both.
Yeah.
We talking, I started in January, we talking August, no deal. Nothing. Chunked it up, this is gonna be my year of life. Went to both. Not only did I, apply what they taught me, but taught that same year, and I was rookie of the year.
That's awesome.
That's good. Can you explain what bold is? I don't know if everybody.
Yeah.
knows what bold is.
So Bold is a 6 to 7 week intensive that we do every year. And it's really meant to be a mindset shift, right? So it'll teach you how to get your mind right around mainly lead generation and the tools you can use to lead generate. But it's designed to be like intensive. You're calling people, you've got homework that you're supposed to do every week, and it is designed to get you to agreements and closings, right? It works. It works. It works. If you apply yourself, you do what you're supposed to do, it works. Yeah. Usually it's in September, October, but that can change depending on the office schedule.
Ours is October.
Ours here in October. Yep.
And what's the cost? Is that the $800 one?
900, 800, 900.
If you are struggling though, if you want to do Bold and you're struggling with costs, I would recommend talking to our Shannon. I was gonna go for office staff, but I couldn't get my words out. Talking to Shannon, talking to Sheena. I do know that Bold sometimes will do scholarships or sponsorships for people who right now they can't justify the cost. So there are options, but it is worth the money to invest in yourself.
100%. Let me say this behind this. I will do everything I can to help. However, I have to see the initiative on your part. So if you come to me and you say that you need a scholarship, and I say, okay, show me what you can do in 2 months. You need to show up, you need to do this, I need to get one deal. And if you say you're gonna meet with me and consistently miss meetings, all these things, I'm going to deny the scholarship and give it to someone else that is doing the work. It's not giving me, it's me giving opportunity to a person who's willing to pour into themselves instead of just talking.
And also, Shannon, I don't know if it's up to you regarding the rebate.
So so 2 different things, right? Scholarship is something I go to ALC about,
Right,
we
right.
put in our money.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, Katie or I, like our corporate office, which they don't like for me to call that, will say, hey, I'm gonna give you a scholarship. So 2 different things there. But then on the rebate she's talking about, we give back $200 for every contract that is written and closed within Bold. Right? So if you write that contract during Bold and then it closes 3 months later, we still give you the money back. So essentially, every time I've taken Bold, it's been free.
It's been free.
I've got my money back. Because I know there was the intent, like Michelle's saying, of doing what I need to do in business. And then I have closings because of it, right? So I have expected GCI based on what I'm gonna learn from Bold and implementing that into my business. I have to go and get my money back. Like I want that GCI back, I want my money back to Bold. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
So other than the rebate, how is Bold different from Breakthrough 120?
Bold is intense.
Yes.
Okay.
Bold is intensive. So depending on how we do it, usually it's 3 different market centers. You are put into groups and you will be in groups of people from the other market centers as well. That it's designed to, 1, give you contacts in other areas, but 2, so it pushes you out of your comfort zone. You know, usually you'll be with 1, maybe 2 other people from your market center. But usually it'll just be 1 other person. And it is an all-day class. So once a week, you're there, 8 o'clock, 3 p.m., and you're working.
Yep.
We've got, they'll do the mindset stuff, and then they'll start going into activities. You're doing collaborative work with your cohorts. And then you've got homework that you're supposed to do throughout the week. And then you've got, if you complete a certain amount of tasks, they've kind of gamified it. But then you also get penalties if you don't do what you're supposed to do. That's right. And you don't get to graduate if you get too many penalties. It's designed to push you. More so with this Breakthrough 120, It's in our market center, it's with other people in the market center, it's not as intensive, we're,
This right here is giving room for explanation,
yes.
defining what it is.
Yes.
But when you go to vote, you kind of,
You get thrown in the
you
deep
gotta
end.
put that to action like you need.
This is the difference between in the shallow end with floaties and being thrown into the deep end. So you figure it out.
And I will say from Bold, this last one I'll say here, or the one before, that you got like 19, like in like 30 minutes, whatever that time frame is, what was that? That very, like the game that we played.
Yeah,
You get like 20 minutes or something.
you get like 15 minutes to call as many people as you can and get as many referrals as you can. So and when I say referrals, I mean, you call somebody and you say, the script around that is usually, hey, we're doing a competition. I'm trying to see how many people I can get contact information for who are looking to buy ourselves. Do you know anyone? And they either say yes, they'll say yes, and here's the contact information. They'll say no, but I'll see if I can find anybody. Or more often you just, leave a voicemail and they'll get back to you maybe. But it's, you try and get as many people as you can get in that 15 minutes. And then you follow up with those people.
You can also, they do what they call a bold 100.
Uh-huh.
Bold is where you're gonna see what you made about.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, you can do it. They give you the equipment to do it. It's all up to you.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a career changer.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It
For
will,
Take
this
it
will
under
like,
control.
Breakthrough 120 is going to help you change some stuff so you can break through into the next part of your career. Bold will basically put you in a catapult and launch you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So let's say different quarters of the year, our mind goes to different places, and usually that last quarter of the year, we start to check out. My checkout point is in the summer because my kids are younger and I would like to go out, right? So I worked really hard at the beginning of the year, meet my goals, and I knew I was going to stay at least a month at the beach with my kids. That's what I worked for, that's what I wanted to do, right? And then I would come back and hit it hard until the end part of the year. Now it's different, but that was what I used to do. So that last quarter, normally agents check out. We see it here in the office, you'll start to see classes get a little bit lighter, we push mindset more. So Bold helps to change the mindset and gets you back in, because if you don't work that last quarter, you will not have a good first quarter. Because real estate rolls in 90 days, and there's no one that can prove that they don't do it. I mean, you just can't prove that to you, because it does. Like, you might get a good deal of cash here and there in 30, 45 days. But if you don't work that lead gen or whatever that last quarter, your first quarter is you're gonna see it.
The work you do now will pay off in 90 days.
Yes.
Okay.
So 10 out of 10, definitely recommend Bold. I've done it twice.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to say about Bold?
Just be bold.
Just be bold.
Yes, I need bold. I will say something. I'm 3 times bolder, thank you. Yeah. But
Always with a clap or something.
No, it's like, actually, then I'm bold. Yes, you are.
one of the things, one of the major things that I love about bold, I'm not very emotional sometimes, but bold will hit you on the stomach, make you, tear up.
Yeah.
Love that. So it's just a positive, it's just such a positive message that you will receive typically on bold. They normally come that first day, so they go and try to hit you and get you to a point where you're just raw. Another thing that I like about it is we have done this, I've done it twice, where they put the paper on your back and other people write things about you. You will find more out about how you're presenting to other people. And that's always been a good one for me.
Yeah, that one in particular, the messages on your back, that really put a lot of things in perspective for me from the first year to the second year. Because basically what they'll do is they'll put a piece of paper on your back and you go around and you write what you think about that person on their back. So persistent, driven, leader, friendly, whatever it is about them. And people are doing the same thing to you. And then at the end of it, you take it off, you see what people wrote. That first year, I didn't like what I saw. It wasn't who I wanted to be. They weren't bad things, but it wasn't who I wanted to be. And so I worked my butt off the next year to change how I present it. And it worked. I've got it pinned on my board in my office because it makes me feel good to look at it. It's like, this is who I want to be. This is who I want people to see. So Gold, huh? I mean, it's everybody, agents. So it'll be, it's everybody has a goal.
You've been with them for like
You've been with them
5 months.
5 weeks. 5 to 6 weeks. So it'll start with the people that are in your cohort usually, and then it spreads out to other people. So it'll be other people from your market center. Maybe you're super conversational and you start up a relationship with somebody in a different cohort.
Yeah.
You get close with people in Bold.
Yeah.
I have relationships from this Bold and the one previous that I still foster. You know, and you never know, these are people from other market centers. You can get referrals off those people. So,
And even more importantly than the referral, believe this or not, you may do a transaction with them, and the way you treat them now, they're gonna remember that when they do that transaction.
Yeah.
There are people that come from my desk and I'm like, oh, I do not want this deal because I already know how it's gonna go. So I already start the conversation with the agent saying, hey, don't worry, I'm doing the heavy lifting. I got you, right? Because I'd rather do that than have it fall through. Right? And it's that is me becoming a bottleneck. And I understand that there is no growth there, but it's like, you gotta do the task and get it done and move on because it's, I know what's happening. Yeah.
all right, so. Davis.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Line 6, that, Quinn said, don't call me again. At that point, do you delete them from your database or do you
Yes.
keep people in your database that say don't call them no more?
I get rid of them. Yeah, I think this is a personal choice for me. If they said don't call again, I'm taking that as they have rescinded their permission to contact them. And if they're a litigious person, they will come after you in a lawsuit. That's not something I'm willing to risk.
You gotta be careful. If they say it, don't call me, that does not mean I
Don't
can't
email.
email you or.
And that's the difference in perspective.
Yeah.
For me. If they say don't call me, I'm gonna read that as a contact. I don't wanna be, I don't, and that's me. I don't wanna be business.
It's too many people.
But there, again, there's different perspectives on things. There's different. There's different. Just find what works for you. If you are most comfortable taking them out of your database, then take them out of your database.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anybody in your database that you don't want to work with. Then girls, get rid of them.
Yeah,
If you do not, I cannot stress this enough. If you do not want to work with them,
relatives included.
get rid of them.
Because I don't know that I don't want to work with you because you intimidate me.
Well, and okay, that's
So I
fair.
kind of push you to the side.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I mean this in the sense of like, sometimes there are people that I might know that maybe our relationship has spoiled over the years for whatever reason, or maybe you just meet somebody and the first interaction is great and you get to know them and they're kind of a horrible person. And you're like,
Yeah.
No amount of money is, and that's the thing, you have to weigh,
That's it.
is it worth it? And for me, some people are like, no amount of money is gonna make it worth it. It's gonna be a terrible experience for them and for me. And they're even gonna be a celebration at the end of it. So you've gotta be mindful about who, like, if you wanna work with somebody, a lot of times it's gonna make the transaction that much easier. Because they're gonna wanna work with you, so. We've kind of talked about this already. This is your database. These are all the things that you need. This is what should be in your command. The activity that they have is putting all of this in a spreadsheet. It sounds like we all already are active in command. So I don't think this is necessary. But yes,
Maybe this is something along or
no,
offline.
please go ahead.
So I have all of my contacts in command.
Yeah.
And since then, I've added new contacts to my
Mhm.
phone. Is there an easy way to refresh command?
Yes.
Instead of going in and.
Yes, there is a way to do it in command, on the mobile app specifically, where you'll go in and you can import contacts directly from your phone. If there are duplicates, it will tell you that there are duplicates and whether or not you want to merge them. I would recommend that you do so. But yes, there is a very easy way to get people out of your phone into command through the command mobile app.
Skylar, want to help you with that?
Yes.
How could you have to do?
Speaking of tools, utilize the tools that we have at eScholar. You're so right. So yeah, First name, last name, phone number, email address, mailing address, gone over it. Notes and dates. These are very important. And these are, Command will do the date for you when you go in and when you do last contact and it'll do method of contact. And then it'll put the date for you, but then you make your notes. When you reach out to somebody, there's 6 ways that it can go, right? You can have a conversation with them. You can have a real estate conversation with them. You could leave a voicemail. You could have texted them without a reply. You could have gotten a referral or set a buyer or seller appointment. Those are your 6 options, right? For a real estate conversation, the definition around that has changed recently. It has to be a 2-minute long conversation about real estate to count as a conversation. Correct, Shannon?
Yes.
Yeah. So, any 2-way exchange via phone call or text counts as either a conversation. Counts as a conversation. I'm going to put it there. It's not an either or because we have the 2-minute rule for a real estate conversation now. But again, all conversations are good conversations, right? Living on our database. It doesn't always need to be, hey, who do you know who needs to buy or sell? Because then you're the money hungry real estate agent that wants to talk. That might not be the intention, but that's how it reads. If every conversation that you have with that person is real estate, real estate, real estate. Again, people want to be heard. People want to talk about themselves. People want to be invested. People want people to be invested in what they're doing. So sometimes we've got, we do, not role play. No, the list. DTB2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your DTB2, which is basically a list that we do throughout the year of you're calling these 2 letters and you're texting this one. Once a quarter, you should be calling everybody to check out.
Let's talk about that. So explain, does everybody know what DTB2 is? So the most confusing thing for me to learn that. I mean, it's simple, it's real simple. Right?
Yeah.
If you don't know, raise your hand. You do.
Okay.
I know it's the letter, but I don't know what the letters stand for.
I also don't know what the letters stand for. I've just accepted it as fact. DTB2 stands for that.
DTB2 means do the database too. So do the database as well.
Okay.
Systematic way for you to contact everybody, so you don't have to think about it. You can organize it with letter. You can organize according to the first or last name. Ideally, it is the last name because you'll have this week is M and X, if I believe, or maybe that might have been last week. You have a lot of M's probably, but you're got no X's. And so they sort of pair them up to make it so that it's not, we got 100 people to call this week. We got 40 people to call this week. Like this, it's a little bit more average. Yeah.
So DTB2, do the database. 2, do it also. There are multiple ways to do it, but that's one of the easiest ways because it's a system that's already set up. But yeah, you should be calling your database just to check in on them. Be like, hey, I saw that you went on vacation. How was that? We're going into summer. Hey, I saw that your kid graduated. Where are they going to school? Just be invested in people. Or we just had the primaries. That's a great reason to call. Hey, did you go vote? Anything. It doesn't have to be about real estate. You can call about holidays. If you've got it in their database about anniversary, call them to say congratulations. Look at people on Instagram and Facebook and see what's going on in their lives. Maybe a kid graduated. Maybe someone just became a grandparent.
Also, Shannon, in the command, when you put the address, if you haven't noticed, it gives you like the address will give them updates. So always like, if what's selling in their neighborhood, that helps too. So that could be a conversation. So have you noticed that there's a few selling over there? Or like you said, people moving like 10 years, maybe around year 5, you could check and say, have you thought about doing anything with your income?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Would you like a free home valuation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions about anything regarding this? At this point, it has told me to remind you to contact everybody in a TCPA compliant way. And also reminded me that if you use AI in any of your generation tactics to verify information that is given to you by AI and make sure that you're doing it in a TCPA compliant way, I need to be very careful with voice agents. That's my legal obligation for the section.
That's right.
All right. Feed your database. This is the fun part. This is what I'm excited about. Yes. Okay. You want, do y'all want to go on a break? Sure. All right. It seemed like 15 was a little long, so we're gonna go ahead and do 10 minutes. So everyone can get a drink, go to the bathroom, spread their legs, and we'll be back at 11:20. Cool. This is a great place to take a break. I also needed to see, but I was going to spirit. I know. I'm on a roll. Yeah. There you go.
I'm going to make you.
Nice.
So much.
We are for 10 minutes. That is show. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it.
Oh, she lunch it all?
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's more work.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets to take it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm thinking cousin.
You were invited to make a lot of money. I can leverage it.
I'm sorry. So that was a building.
I want to.
Depends on the thing.
Right, so that's like right?
So I'll go to that.
Yeah, break free, break free. You gotta break free.
Just a second.
A jump start to the hospital in Stonebridge, she has two, one thing, and she has two service acts. Volunteer that. Yeah. That's like. Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
You ever go down? Oh, you should tell.
I'm not gonna ask him.
Oh, they're the issues.
All right, guys,
I'm just saying.
missed a couple people, and we'll get back to it, all right?
Yeah.
Are you cold? I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I'm up and moving. All right. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You know that.
It is all lowercase KW culture.
Okay.
And the Wi-Fi network is the KWGH or KW whatever it is. Some it's KW something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. We're not taking it go. What page are you?
45.
Thank you.
Get my back window down, redone. See,
Just gonna say something different.
it's gonna be the same on my ass, going round and fast, and then around for it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all.
We're gonna get back to it, folks. Should have done it. All right, cool. So we talked about building our database. Now we're gonna talk about feeding it. This is the fun part. This is when you do your actual lead gen, right? So lead generation is the process of identifying and engaging potential clients who may be interested in your services. When you have your database established, which we do at this point, we've already talked about it, how you build it. We've all got our commands up and running or whatever CRM we're choosing to use. The second step is to continually feed it with new leads. Lead generation, this is your 20%. We've said that about 15 times. And I'm probably gonna keep saying it. Do your lead gen. Wait. All right. So, leads are people you have added to your database through your lead gen activities. They have expressed an interest in a service that you're offering. You haven't established a relationship, yet you have the right to a one-way conversation with them. We've already talked about this. Your database needs to grow every day to grow your business. You should be adding someone to your database every day. That is so much easier said than done. I know. Sometimes it can be really challenging. So we're about to go over a plethora of ways that you can lead gen without picking up the phone and calling people, because I know sometimes you want to throw yourself out of a window when you're trying to do that. At least I did. I am not a call person. I don't like calling people. I hate doing it. It is not one of my preferred lead gen methods, even though it's probably one of the most effective ones. So you're going to have to call people. I'm sorry. I got to do it. You got to do what we got to do. But feeding your database is what we're going to focus on for the rest of Breakthrough 120 Part 1. Yay. So marketing versus prospecting. Who can tell me the difference?
One of them you specifically, you're intentional.
Mhm.
You're going after a certain thing.
Yep.
And the other one is like you just generally put it out there.
Okay.
No one is member.
You're dead on. So marketing is money intensive, but it is passive. These are going to be things like putting out ads on Facebook. These are going to be things that are, I don't know, whatever you put money into, I guess. Prospecting is active. That's the one that's more time intensive. It may not cost as much money. So Shannon talked about going to Walmart and passing out flyers. That's prospecting. It's not super money intensive, but it's absolutely time intensive. So one, you've got is associated with monetary cost, and one is associated with the time cost. Everything's going to cost you something. You got to choose which one you want to put effort into. For a lot of people, prospecting is the way to go because it doesn't require a lot of money. It's going to be more budget friendly. So, lead generation methods that can be classified as prospecting, marketing, or both. Prospecting is active and direct and includes methods such as TCPA compliant quarterly calls, TCPA compliant text outreach, apartment canvassing, be super careful with this, networking, and door knocking. Who in here likes to door knock? Y'all are crazy. Y'all are my people. All right.
But let me tell you, I get listings every time I go out. So
I'll go with somebody, not alone.
I don't think you should go home.
Please don't go alone. I don't care what you're doing. If you have to go on showing appointments by yourself, somebody needs to have your location. I would recommend having some sort of self-defense. Get like actual mace, not the little keychain stuff that doesn't do nothing. Like get actual stick spray. If you're somebody who is a firearm owner who is trained, having a firearm, something. Yeah, y'all like. If you don't have somebody with you, and at the open houses too, I always have a buddy go with me on my open houses. My roommate will go with me, my boyfriend will go with me, a friend will go with me. Just somebody in the house with you. At the very least, somebody needs to know where you are. Please be safe.
And this is when I first got in my first year. Don't be brave, don't walk my neighborhood. Now I was not thinking. But because I was by myself, remember I'm scared of dogs, but I don't like dogs. So I took the dog club, right? I'm thinking, that's my protection. I knocked on this one door. Brother said to the door, he said, I want you to know that I'm equipped with a gun. Why are you at my door? And so of course I'm explaining myself, but then thank God he was a good guy. He said to me, listen, you know how you look coming up to my door with a dog club? Thinking like that. I was not good. I'm trying to protect myself. You know what I'm saying? And I promise you, they'll laugh around my phone. It just did something to me. It just did something to me, like what you can expect when you're knocking on those doors. But suppose this guy was not nice to me. So just think it all the way out. Yeah, not on the list.
Yep. So safety first.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that I'm a true crime enthusiast, and I just watched one about a real estate agent that got gotten in open house. So please be careful.
Oh, yeah.
It happened in Canada. It wasn't nearby, but you never know what's going on. Be alert. Anyway, back to this. Marketing is passive and indirect, and this includes online advertising, offline advertising, mailers, flyers, newsletters, blogs, and vlogs. Fun stuff. So, as you can see here, we've got a couple of prospects. Phone or face-to-face prospecting, listings without agency, FISBOs, that's prospecting. FISBOs and expires. Circle prospecting, so this would be door knocking neighborhoods or farming. Now farming kind of goes more into marketing, but apartment complexes, a recently sold list, recently listed properties, and then community outreach, charity, and volunteer work. Does anybody do any charity or volunteer work? Shannon, Octavia, Shanika, Ava, Valencia?
It's on the list.
Awesome. Highly recommend. Very good when you get the chance to do it. And then marketing. So offline advertising. These are things that are going to cost you money, right? So the other one is time intensive. Marketing is going to be cost intensive. So these are radio advertisements, TV advertisements, newspapers, personal vehicles, Michelle. Bus stops, benches, magazines, billboards, yellow pages. Who uses yellow pages anymore? Grocery carts, moving vans. Nick Montgomery does a lot of radio ads out of the county and like some clients. It just depends on what your method is. But these are all great ideas. Michelle, yes, sure. Michelle, how many what is having your car marketed? What has that done for you?
I'm not gonna be very transparent because if you don't know, that's just what I am. I'm just not gonna lie about it. Now, I have not gotten any business from my car. However, I can't go anywhere and somebody don't say, hey, Jim. So they know I'm out there, but I haven't gotten the actual, you know, so that makes me feel good too, because I just say eventually, you know. And people bump at you all the time. You don't know, you just, so it helps me to be known, but I have not received a lead for any business from my car being wrapped.
But it does get you recognition.
Yeah, it does. It gets me known in the community.
And eventually that will lead to something, maybe indirectly.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it does because, like, even at my church, like when I try to introduce myself, they already know me.
Right, yeah, yeah.
We know you want the white hat, so
Everybody knows you're
the
a
white hat, yeah,
Everybody
for
knows
sure,
you're
for sure. And it makes it an easier conversation because when they come to me, I already know they're coming for me.
Do you have like a QR code?
I
Or
do.
a pre-CMA on there, so they can.
Well, I ain't got that for a boot. When I got the card, I do believe I have a QR code on there. Yeah, I have a QR code and it gives me the, because a lot of times people will say, do you have a business card? I'm like, you're right here in my car. Yeah, I think we're up. Yeah. Because I don't like business cards anyway, because people, what do they do? Yeah.
Sometimes I got some about business cards. We'll get there. Marketing. So marketing is great. Prospecting is great. Best practice is to be prospecting based, marketing enhanced, right? So that is, because marketing is money intensive and passive, the results usually occur over a long period of time versus prospecting is time intensive, but it's also proactive. So it'll usually bring immediate results. Like Shannon said, she goes door knocking. She leaves a door knocking session with at least one listing a month, right? Yeah.
What's she like? Are you gonna have a potential client? You pick that though. You get to pick it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it
What
is.
you want to do?
Yeah. You might have a client that's looking in Kanye's, that's 250,000 price point, or maybe even 500. You pick the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things too that we should be doing. They don't talk about it a lot, but every day you should be doing some housing, so you'll know kind of the price range,
Yeah.
what that money offers.
Or maybe you've got a listing in a neighborhood.
Yes.
Go door knocking and say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm a real estate agent. I've got a listing in this area. Do you know anybody who you want to be, or do you have somebody who you want to be your neighbor?
And right now, you're mine, I got a list, trying to do it clean, right? So ask the listing agents in the office, hey, like I've got a listing in Auburn right now, not performing the area because it's farther, right? But if I know an agent that lives in Lawrenceville, I may say, hey, had a great listing up here, probably gonna pick up another one. Statistically, they say when the person lives, who gets student for a mortgage rate, right, a year. So I'll probably pick up another one, right? You can have it, farm the area, because it's Keller Williams. It's important that they see the sign and the brand, right? And then you can market that area. Yeah. And then if someone here has a listing in Covington, like Tiffany Ripple, and she doesn't farm that neighborhood and she's got a listing, hey, Tiff, I want to hold your open houses. I want to be your call for that neighborhood. So if someone calls you, they don't have an agent, I'm gonna hold all your opens, but will you send me that higher rate, I'm gonna be your referral fee. The answer 9 times out of 10 is yes, because she's a productively busy agent, she can't run over.
But
Right?
check this out. You live in a neighborhood? Yeah. Knock on your neighbors door.
Yeah.
Just to see what it feel like.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
You know them.
I don't know that. I hate when I drive by.
But that's the exact, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
point.
yeah.
You got a different kind of.
Check this out.
When I first came over, everybody was like, wait,
somebody sign.
What is your neighborhood?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It is one house in the neighborhood, I guess the list expired on it. I was looking to see if the file was out there.
Yeah.
Not there anymore, so.
Well, listen, don't take this in the wrong way. What I would like for you to do, I would like to make a suggestion. Don't defeat it before you try. And then what I'm saying is, my neighbors ain't, no, you gotta be like, my neighbor's ready for me. I'm about to introduce myself, let them know what's up. Cause I wanna be the agent of choice for this nigga.
Yeah.
Just, you gotta change your mindset. Cause if you already saying they ugly, they know what, that's what you gonna receive.
I just want my next one.
Yeah,
I'm so good.
Yeah.
Right.
So always work out as planned, but
What's the opening conversation when you knock on somebody's door?
Depends on the intention that you're knocking.
Yeah.
Are you knocking to get are you knocking to get a listing?
Yeah, like Shannon.
Yeah.
Like what Shannon's doing.
Shannon, what's your strategy?
Oh,
Like,
the opening is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is so
She
blunt.
to the point.
It was
Yeah.
like, are you telling them, hey, I'm here? Do you want
Yes, so normally I have some kind of little bag with me. I
Uh-huh.
always do. And so they know I'm coming with something. I'm usually wearing a shirt that says Shannon sells homes, and I have black and white. So I want them to know, number one, I'm a realtor.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then I'm coming with a little gift. So if I get a door knock, I did not buy before I get the one that answers. And then I get the one little old lady at the door, she's super nice. And then we start talking, and it's literally, hey, I'm Shannon Kelly Williams. I always have a listing somewhere here, right? Or I've had that, or I've sold in that neighborhood, I've done something. So, and if I didn't, I'd say, hey, my coworker, my associate has a listing here, Kelly Williams is prominent, wherever you're at. Somebody, if it's got something near me. So that's the conversation starter. Hey, we've got a listing in the area. I want to know if you're interested or if you know anyone who heard any conversation. That's it. I'm very blunt.
Okay.
If there is no like, hey, how are you? How are the kids? She's gonna look at me crazy. She's gonna, why I'm there.
Yeah.
At this point, Quinn calls me a used car seller. I'm not that aggressive, but I need them to know the point.
Gotcha.
Before they pull out something, get really aggressive and defensive and start calling cops.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And then you get in and out.
Please pay attention when you go into neighborhoods too. Make sure that there's not a no solicitation
Yeah.
sign in the yard. Some neighborhoods will have a no solicitation at all. That'll be at the front of the neighborhood, depending on the neighborhood. Just do your research before you go, if that's what you want to do.
And here's the good news, like the greatest news.
Okay.
This will has not and does not need to be recreated. It has been proven
Yeah.
that if you knock on some doors, you're gonna get some good results. It's not like we just trying this thing out. It has been proven. People are making mega money for knocking on doors.
We do it.
I'm gonna do
But
it.
it's the 80-20 rule, so we can sit here and preach about we didn't get on the calls, do this, and I guarantee if I got 10 people, 1 or 2 are gonna go consistent. And you can't do it one time and be like, hey, I've got it, because if you knock on 5 houses, you're nervous.
Uh-huh.
And they can feel it, right? They can feel it, and then if they ask you a question, that Lord knows you don't know, so something about the stats in that neighborhood, and you haven't studied it. You don't know them, right? And you don't have your iPad pulled up to do it. You're gonna stutter a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fail through it, and either you're gonna continue or you're good. And if you don't have a support system with you right there to kind of back you up, well, you're probably lost.
So, and we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Sharon, you go alone?
I used to, so no, I've never gone alone. I went with my husband, and he would literally, you got videos that I would go live before live was a thing. Of him in the car driving beside me, and I was walking neighborhoods, especially when I was selling. And I used to specialize in 55 older neighborhoods. So if he would drive beside me, and I would knock on the doors. But I've always went with him. Now in my personal neighborhood, my kids would go. So now they still go. My kids are employed by me. And so when they go, my neighborhood knows, oh, there's the realtors. Yeah, so they go hand out like we do Popeyes or whatever it's called.
Popeyes.
Like we'll do, I don't know, like what's coming up? We just had Memorial Day. So Memorial Day, we did like a Veterans Memorial thing, and they would come on their divorce, right? And I think we'll probably do a listing out of that. So every holiday we'll do something to say, hey, I'm here if you just have questions. Now I will say on my newsletter, the return I get is, hey, do you know a plumber? Hey, do you know blah blah blah? But I don't want to be that person. You know, I want to be out of mind when they start asking, because when they get ready to sell, they call me and say, hey, do you know a realtor? They're saying, hey, we're ready to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does hurt. Like there's a listing in my neighborhood right now. They didn't call me. That hurt because their daughter's agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
So
there you go. But they do say that, like, be the mayor of your town. Your sphere is your town. And any question that you get is going to be a valuable one. If they're like, hey, do you know a carpet cleaner? Hey, do you know a roofer? Hey, do you know a plumber? Hey, I've just moved to the area. Do you have a nail tech? Build out your vendor list. That is so important. Like if they're not ready to sell, but they have questions, be the person that they ask their questions to. Yeah. So back to this. Both prospecting and marketing. farming, so demographic farming or geographic farming. And then events, open houses, seminars, contests, and client appreciation events. Events, that's my thing. I'm all over events. I love events. I love having people. I love to love on people in person. I just had my first seminar. It went great. We love to do open houses and we love to do client appreciation events. Find the thing that's the thing, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it right now. The rule of 3. So, also on page 47, there's an extensive list of prospecting, marketing, and both. I would encourage you to go through that list, see what's an absolute no-go for you, see what's one that you might want to try, and see things that you're comfortable with. But rule of 3, the rule of 3 shows that most leads come from agents' top 3 lead sources. Anything past 3, shouldn't be putting that much time into. So, even though you won't rely on a single source of lead generation, you aren't going to do all of them. Please don't do all of them. You will stretch yourself too thin. You won't be able to put the time and money and energy into it that's necessary. We found the top agents typically focus their efforts on 3 lead sources. So I think I just kind of covered it, but what are some advantages of only focusing on 3 lead sources? Focus, yeah. Mhm.
You can master it. You can
Yeah.
become an expert.
Exactly. What is it, 10,000 hours to become a master of something? You gotta put your time in. What else?
I mean, it's innate. It's just gonna, you're gonna spit it out.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more you become familiar with it, the more, you know.
Mhm. What about time management?
Yeah.
It helps you free up your time when you're intentional about where you're spending it. Yeah. So,
How long do you try something before you add it to your rule of 3? Like, is that like, I try this for a week or I try this for an hour?
so it's gonna be over time, right? And we have this thing that's called the red light system or stop, or what is it?
Red light, green light.
Red light, green light. So that's kind of like you try something and you pull back. Try something, you pull back. If it works, you go full send. But we're going to kind of talk about 3 in particular that we're going to focus on in at least Breakthrough 120. So your sphere of influence is absolutely a lead generation source, right? Open houses, and then social media. Yay, everybody loves social media. Sheena loves social media. Sheena loves social media. Yeah, y'all are great. It'll be fun. We're talking about specific lead sources because they are generally low cost and are top lead sources amongst most successful agents. Remember, even the best agents with the biggest teams get the most of their business from their top 3 lead sources that are perfected. Ultimately, the lead sources you choose should choose to focus on should align with your interests and strengths. There it is. Don't pick something you're not going to do. Just don't do it. I'm going to throw my dad under the bus right now because he's not here to defend himself. That man will never pick up a phone and call anybody. Except you. Now, that's not to say he doesn't call people. He's on the phone all the time. We're real estate agents. We're always on the phone all the time. But he's talking to people who are calling him. They've got questions. He's talking to his builders. He's talking to our clients. He's on the phone constantly. But if you think that man's going to sit down for 2 hours and call his database, he ain't going to do it. He doesn't want to. He told me an example early on. Door knocking. He went to try door knocking, sat in his car for 2.5 hours, couldn't get out of the car. And I'm not going to knock him for that one because that's me too. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to say that door knocking is a lead source for me because I know physically I'm not going to be able to do it. I hate it. I don't like talking to people when I don't have a reason to talk to them. And Shannon's going to sit there and say, you do have a reason to talk to them. You're going to go ask for their business. I didn't even have to look at you. I knew. But don't pick something you're not going to do, right? Seminars, if you're not comfortable being up here talking, don't do seminar.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable talking in front of people, don't do something where you have to talk in front of people. I'm a performer as a theater kid. Can you tell? That's all that. Some people can't do it, and that's okay. Everybody has their strengths and everybody has their weaknesses. We're supposed to improve on our weaknesses, face our fears. Absolutely. 100% encourage that. You got a whole toolbox of strengths that you've got. Utilize them. Figure out how they work for you. You gotta. Maybe you're super personable. Maybe you like to talk to people in the grocery store. That ain't me. Don't come talk to me in a grocery store. But some people do really well with that. I think Tiffany Urkel's one. She can talk to anybody about anything, anytime. Doesn't matter. I like to present. I like to be in front of people. I like to love on my folks. I go to book club. I like to read. I utilize that. So it just find the things that work for you, right? So your rule of 3, pick your top 3. So sphere of influence, I will say, should always be in your top 3, always. Just figure out what the other 2 are.
So question,
Yeah.
when you're at the book club,
Yeah.
you're doing a social event,
Uh-huh.
do you start your book club with, who wants to buy a house? Anyone here?
I'm not
needs-
running the book club. I'm a participant in the book club. But I talk to my people. I get to know them. And actually, and we're gonna talk about this because she said something about business cards. Everybody throws them away. People don't throw mine away because I've designed them to be bookmarks. My business cards are bookmarks. I do not have one on me. They're
That's
downstairs.
one in my bag.
Okay.
I can show you later.
I'll more than happy to show you guys.
Okay.
But I'm in book club. People know me with that. I have read 34 books this year. People know me as a book person. And so I go to book club and I'm like, hey, would y'all like a bookmark? Everybody's gonna say yes. And so on the front of it, it says a home for every chapter. It has my little cottage little thing in front of it on a book, my little cottage house on a book. And on the back, it has all of my contact information.
Let me defend myself though.
Please.
When I first got started and I bought the business cards, a good business card. Oh, yeah. I did not get a good return. So my business cards are 4x6. Like it's big. You just gonna have to keep that somebody to see it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
so in support of what she's saying, you just gotta figure out which way do you want to market it. It doesn't have to necessarily be a business card.
No. it
Just
doesn't.
a way to promote yourself.
I've seen realtors who've made their business cards be magnets.
This one,
Yeah.
scanner.
Yeah.
And then I write these, share the contact.
Yeah.
So,
You can do that. Link cards are a great option for a digital business card. I know some people use a dot.
Yeah.
Um,
The iPhone, you can,
if you both got iPhones, you can touch the tops of your phone together and sometimes it'll share it. Sometimes it's an iPhone and it just does what it wants to do. But what else? It's really cool. I've known realtors and actually at this past family reunion, I got business cards that were magnets to go on my fridge. I got one that was a sticker and she gave me bubbles. I will forever remember her because she gave me bubbles. Yeah. Magnet. I know people who and that's what we're gonna, and I think you'll talk about it more when you get to social media about personal branding, but that goes into it. I'm not a bookish realtor. I'm always reading a book. I've got a book right now. I've always got a book on me. I'm always reading something. I want to talk about it. I love to talk about what
when do you read?
Huh?
When do you read?
I don't watch TV.
I don't know.
I don't. My entertainment comes from reading. So yeah, Shannon.
So we also have to remember that in real estate, although we're lead genning and what we did while it was instantaneous business to add your database, right? So we're constantly adding to the database. What she's doing is building relationships, which is what we wanted in real estate, right? She's building the rapport. And so they know her as the real estate agent. They're going to come to her to buy. So the marketing on Michelle's card is the same thing. Like she may not see it instantaneously, but when she pulls up, they know that their agent's there.
Yeah.
When she pulls up in the church parking lot, they know who's arriving. So she's built that rapport, that relationship with those people that says, hey, I'm a realtor.
Yes. So finding out what part of your personality you can use to market as part of your image, find it, utilize it. It's harder, it's easier said than done. I promise you it is. For me, it was really easy because I have a very distinctive thing and nobody else. You wanna know I got the idea for the bookmarks? From authors, because authors make their bookmarks into business cards. Realtors aren't doing that because why would we? We don't think about that. Maybe you make your business card something that can be used. They talk about this in bold too. There's a guy who does open houses who makes bread and he became known as the bread guy because every single one of his open houses smells like fresh baked bread, and he has fresh baked bread at every open house he does. It could be something as innocuous as that. Maybe you like to bake. Maybe every open house you do, you've got a sweet treat for your people that you made yourself. Who knows? Could be anything. So, but that all goes into that. I would say kind of falls more into marketing because you're marketing yourself. A lot of times those are going to be cost intensive, and they might have longer results over time, right? Are you looking for business right now? Or are you trying to build rapport with the people that you already got? It's just, and there's not a right or wrong on either one of those. It's what do you want your business to look like? So I can talk on and on and on about that, but we need to move on because it's almost there. All right, so you guys are going to think about yesterday. Think about yesterday morning, and you're going to write down what you did. Who did you interact with? Did you drop your kids off at school? Did you go to the grocery store? Did you go get a coffee? Think about it.
It was raining hard yesterday.
It was raining hard yesterday. So maybe it wasn't yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe think about Monday. Monday was Memorial Day. What did you do? It was also kind of raining, but I assume that most of us were spending time with family, friends, whatever. Or maybe you sit at home like me. But for the sake of the exercise, think about what your mornings typically look like. Are you going to the gym? Do you like to do your grocery shopping early in the morning when nobody's there? Are you dropping your kids off at school? You going to get a coffee? Who are you coming in contact with? What is the activity?
Yeah.
And then, once you've done that, who did you interact with? And how did you interact with them? Did you smile and say hello to the barista? Or did you just order? Did you wave at the volunteer who's directing pickup or drop off for your kids? Did you talk to the cashier at the grocery store? Did you talk to that person that's on the treadmill beside you every single morning and you have no idea what their name is?
Sacred space. Leave them alone.
But for somebody else, that could be their business.
Come on, somebody.
Same. You snooze, you lose.
You snooze, you lose.
I can tell you right now, if I find out that anybody in my book club is using somebody else as a realtor, I'm going to go nuclear.
They may be a secret agent.
Secret agent.
Okay, secret.
It could be. You don't want to be.
No.
Yeah, all funny to be a secret.
You don't want to be a secret agent. So, anybody got anything on their list? I'll go first. Huh?
Awareness.
Awareness.
People in my house buying houses.
That is true. That's true. Here's one. I'll give one. I go through the Starbucks line, and for whatever reason, there's this one particular person that every time I'm in the Starbucks line, she tells me that she likes my outfit or that my hair is nice. She always gives me a compliment. And I always say thank you. I have no idea what her name is. That's somebody who knows me, who interacts with me, who I see on a regular basis. I don't know who she is. That could be a potential, that could be something. And maybe it's not her, maybe it's somebody she knows. Maybe she has questions. Maybe she has bought into this Gen Z malarkey that they've told us that we'll never be able to buy a home. That the economy is collapsing down around us, and what's the point? Because you're never going to make enough money to be able to own a home. We're being taught that, like legitimately, you know? Legitimately. And they don't know any better because we've been fear-mongered into thinking that we can't. But maybe she really wants to. And I'm being serious, guys. With the younger folks, you have to come from a place from education. They have been told 6 ways to Sunday, forget about it because you won't be able to. It's real. We have to be education focused. And it can't come from a place where it's like, oh, well, just stop eating your avocado toast. We all know it ain't about avocado toast. We all know. So, but maybe they've got questions they're too scared to ask. Be friendly, right? Maybe the guy in your gym is getting engaged, and he and his girlfriend are gonna want to move in together, and neither one of their houses will accommodate both of them. Maybe they need to upgrade. Maybe that mom in the pickup line that you know Maybe her oldest just graduated and they're gonna downsize because the oldest is moving out and they can't afford their house payment anymore. You never know what's going on in somebody's life.
That's right.
Build those relationships. They'll tell you what they do.
Yeah, and when we're talking about relationships, guys, so me personally, as a relationship, you go through these mental battles, right? And it happens. And this is being transparent, it happens. It's like you against yourself. So if you see a top producing agent this year, they had a great year, then you kind of see them fall off next year when you got there having your best year, don't forget to ask. Hey, are you good? What opportunities? Right, don't get caught up in the day to day. If I could go back and change a whole lot of stuff I did early on next year, that's the number one thing that I would change, is how I chose to form other people instead of being so busy in my head and not caring about what other people thought about me because I was so business minded. I want to change that about me back today. So when you see people and to you they're a top producing agent, even now, you don't know their struggles, right? They're so busy. They're so busy. You know, so don't, it's okay, even if you're not producing, to be like, hey, are you good? Go grab a coffee. And that person will probably end up pouring into you, and you pouring into that person is beneficial for you too. But you build a relationship that lasts a lot of time.
But by the same token, that top producing agent that's getting that right there, what did they do when they weren't the top producing agent?
Yeah.
What did they do to, you know, to
Become.
get there? You know, did they give some of that energy, that top producing energy to that brand new agent, you know, when they were down?
I
Because I know a lot of people that's a source about me. Because, you know, when people are just starting out, you know, what do you give to them? What do you pour into them? You know, when you're this top producing agent.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's hard.
It is, and I've had to look back at myself and think through that because even when I was on AOC, like I can't remember maybe 3 or 4 people that I actually went to lunch with or even poured into. And looking back, like that's one thing I would change, is how I changed them. One, not just the perception, but my emotions, right? Because I didn't give off the energy of, and I was probably more intimidating than approachable, right?
On that point, I'll tell you, my dad's on ALC. Some of you know him, some of you don't. Apparently, I didn't know this. He's a pretty intimidating guy. He is a very numbers-minded person, and if you ask him a question, he is more than happy to help you. He's not necessarily always thinking because his brain's going 95 miles an hour. If you're like, hey, Ken, I've got a question about stats. What's going on? He's more than happy to have conversations with you. If there's a top producer agent that you've got a question for, reach out to them. We've got the ALC. You can ask Shannon for the contact information. That's what they're there for. You can reach out to those folks, even if it might feel intimidating. I would recommend you do it. A lot of them are wonderful people who've got a very helpful heart. But sometimes when you are a top producing agent and you're go, go, go all the time, it takes somebody being like, hey, I need you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm here
yeah, Michelle's here.
today, not tomorrow.
Michelle will be here after class for any questions that you have.
Well, yeah, but to Stephanie's point, I do.
Yes.
I'm not gonna call names, but when I first started out, and I reached out, you know, it's a wave. It's a wave. One thing, that's what I want you all to do if you don't get nothing else. I want you to stroke your esteem, like stroke it. Like that means feed yourself, you can do. Listen, I don't know about you, but it took me 3 times to get these license, okay? I failed 2 times.
Me
It took
too, girl.
3, okay? So because of that, I have
Good
to,
job for not.
I'm not gonna waste time. I'm a realtor, so I gotta do it. This is me. So get that first if you don't get nothing else. Yes, you're gonna run into situations where you're gonna feel like this ain't for me. That's what I'm saying. You get it first. Because when you come up against that, that shouldn't change you. Why? Because you've already said this is for me.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the negative. You're gonna get the no, I didn't say you're gonna get, you may get the roller coaster of the ride. That's on you, how you put it in. It's not like that's what has to happen. It don't have to happen if you do the work. So work on the esteem. Work on allowing yourself to be a little vulnerable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know, you don't know. And I know as a new agent, sometimes you just don't know who to ask. Like, they know I'm new. This is what I'm saying. These people know I'm new. Everybody didn't come to help me. And that's how I felt in the beginning. But when you want to be successful, you got to find the stuff to do it. And if Shannon is not available, again, I'm saying you can come to me. I'm just one person though. But if you don't want the raw deal, I'm telling you, I'm the raw deal girl. I know when to stroke you because we have personal stuff. And I know when I cannot be as raw. But I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna help you as best I can. But you got the belief I can give you. You gotta get that. And that's the question you should ask yourself, like, am I in this for the long haul? Like, y'all, real estate is not easy. It's tough, it's hard. And everybody don't survive. There's thousands of realtors won't be in business at the end of the year. Thousands. And I'm not talking about 5,000. I'm talking about double digits.
Oh, yeah.
So are you gonna be the one to stay, stick it out? You're paying office fees every month. Don't waste your money. Make up in your mind, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm gonna do it, and nobody, and I mean nobody and nothing can stop me from being A1.
On that point, our statistics, y'all, 75% of agents in 2024 did not do a single transaction, not one.
That's what they said.
Not one.
In a year?
75% of US national agents did not do a single transaction in 2024. 75%, 3/4 of all licensed agents in America did not do a single transaction
For an entire year.
for an entire year. Yes, that's a 80/20 principle in action. You want to be in that 25%. If you don't know something, ask. If you need a minute to just sit with yourself and figure out why you're doing this, get your mind right.
You can do it though.
If you need somebody to vent to, come find me. I love talking to people. I am somebody who will sit with you in something. I want to be here for you, right? So find the people, build your team around you, build your family around you, find the people that you can lean on, find people that are going to help you. Everybody's got different strengths, right? And more importantly, get good with you, like Michelle said.
Connect to your source, whoever that may be.
Have your
Because I can tell you won't need your G-O-D. That's what I call that.
exactly.
You
All
don't
right.
need it.
So I'm gonna start going a little quicker because we got an hour left and we're only about halfway through this. So, but I love these conversations that we're having. These are real good. So, underneath your little 24-hour recall, there's a story about Scott Muloff who does 50 first dates. Read that. That is another lead gen source. What he does is basically he goes out and he talks to he finds somebody in his database that he wants to feed into, and he takes him out for coffee, or he takes him out for dinner. So Scott Tips on the 50 First Dates allows his agents to solve problems and deepen relationships over a cup of coffee. So I will read over that one when you have the time. So discover your network. You're connected to more people than you realize. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all to do this as homework because it's telling me to give you 15 minutes to do that, and it's probably going to take you longer than 15 minutes. But over the next several pages, your dentist, your child dentist, your doctor, dermatologist, plumber, electrician, there's over 100 slots. Find those people. That's your network, right? There are more people in your database than you think. Find them. What does Cindy say every morning? There are people out there who need our help, and it's our job to go find them. This is that in action. These are the people. You interact with them every day. Massage therapist. By the way, if you need a massage therapist or an esthetician, I have somebody in Covington. B2B, baby. Yeah. Stockbroker, pet groom, dog walker, tree trimmer, your school classmates, dry cleaner. There's everybody in it. So tonight, as part of your homework, I would recommend you going through that because these are people that should be in your network. And if you don't have these people, figure out who they can be, right? If you're missing somebody, when you're going through and you're filling out this list of people, it's 100 different people. If you get to one and you don't have somebody in that category, do some research, figure out who you have. Call some people in your sphere of influence, see if they have those people, right? We're constantly asking for referrals from people who need real estate help. What's stopping us from reaching out to other people saying like, hey, do you have one of these people, right? And then you're just building your vendor list more. Mhm. There's 115 slots on mine. So, and I'm gonna do 2 tonight because I need to figure myself out. So, the last step is communicating with your database. So again, TCPA compliant way. Touches are instances of communication we have with people. You want to be touching your database and communicating with your database as often as possible. So you are top of mind when they think of real estate. You want, and we say it all the time, you want to be top of mind. You want to be the mayor of your town. You want to be the person that everybody thinks of when they think about real estate. You want them to call you. Touches are instances of communication that you have with people. Touches can be emails, phone calls, letters, newsletters, text messages, social media DMs. The list goes on and on. If it is useful or needed, it's relevant. And if it's relevant, it's valuable. You being a real estate agent is valuable. Just you. You don't necessarily always have to have a piece of information. But, when you're doing your calls for your homeowners, ask them about a home valuation. Ask if they want to know what the equity is in their home. Maybe they're looking to sell. They want a CMA. See what their pricing is compared to other people, right? Maybe it's a buyer and they're a first-time home buyer and they have no idea where to start. Maybe you've got a first-time buyer guide you can send them. Who knows? If it is relevant, it is valuable. So again, like an example of useful or needed information is sharing an article on home buying tips with those who don't own and are likely to move soon. We'll learn more about that in session 3. What's some useful or needed information you can share with your contacts? I gave you a couple, who's got some others?
Winterizing your home.
Winterizing your home. That's a great one to do going into 4th quarter.
I'm sorry. So when you stay in your house, remember, I just thought it was only people moving in and out. No.
No, you can do certain things, so like, your hot water heating, like get it. She was new to me last year, just to make it so that, there's several little things that you can do.
Changing out those filters.
Yeah. Make sure you're changing filters.
See, all of that.
Oh, see, I was just calling the service HVAC. Y'all said it's winter, right?
That's what they do. Sometimes.
Oh, yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes it is just right.
Okay.
What else? That was a great one, Stephanie. Thank you.
Value your home exemption.
When to file your homestead exemption. That's so important, y'all. If you've got deals in Conyers, in Rockdale County, you need to make sure your folks are filing homestead exemption because that could potentially save them thousands of dollars on their taxes.
What about, insurance? Doing the insurance every year?
Mm-hmm.
When they send that out, saying you go up extra, or your mortgage goes up, 9 times out of 10 is that insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
In the spring, I like to think about like lawn care, getting ready for summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I do like a flower seed packet.
That's cute. I like that.
I'm Keena.
Keena, nice to meet you.
Yeah, spring into it, plant seeds, and I'm planting seeds into all. I like to plant seeds. So ladies to do it at the beauty shop. I just stick a picture on there with my contact information.
Love that.
Yeah, real inexpensive.
And Bridget, a shameless plug, Bridget is the marketing guru. So if you all need the stickers, the flyers, the pop buys, all the stuff, Bridget is the one.
All right.
That's right.
What about people with pools? Do you have homeowners that have pools? Do they have someone to service their pools?
Yeah.
Or maybe they just bought a home with a pool. They've never had one before. They have no idea what to do with it.
Like me.
Yeah.
Got rid of that.
That's a whole undertaking. Anyway, so,
They come with fraud.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
Consistent, meaningful contacts build relationships. You guys are gonna go over a whole session on touch campaigns later in Breakthrough 120. So they'll go over that with you later. Cool. Moving right along. All right. Here you go. I've said it 18,000 times. DCPA compliant way. So it is your responsibility through the Telephone Consumer Protection Act and do not call regulations. It is your responsibility to subscribe to the registry, check before you call, update your call list, honor consumers' requests. So if they tell you not to call them or don't contact them, do not do it. And know the state and federal laws. That is your responsibility as an agent. So don't be calling people who tell you not to call them.
This is for cold calling.
This is really for cold calling. So in your personal database, if there's somebody on the do not call list, I don't know if you've noticed this, but sometimes in command, it'll tell you when someone's on a do not call list, but maybe it's somebody who's a personal friend of yours, you know you're allowed to call them. If you're calling people within your sphere, there is a relationship there that they're like, yes, you can call me. This is really more so when you're doing FISBOs and expireds, if you're doing any type of cold calling, if you've got a list from somewhere, make sure that you're calling in a TCPA way. There's a whole thing in your book about it. There are pointers right there. Know the law.
Okay. I do it.
So you can go, warning, you must comply with TCPA and all federal, state, or local laws, including B2B calls and texts. Never call or text a number on any do not call list, and do not use an auto dialer or artificial voice or pre-recorded message without proper consent. Contact your attorney to ensure your compliance, i.e. go ask Dave over there. For more information, you can visit console.command.kw.com/connect/learning/topics. Just go into TCPA and connect and Google it, like put it in there. So it'll come up if you want more information on it.
There's a website to it.
Yeah,
So every time we do it, we should take the time to check all of them.
absolutely. Because if you don't and you call the wrong person, you will end up with a suit.
Oh, we're provided an expired list that will say, you know,
Yes.
it's not call.
Right.
So we have to double check that.
No.
No, if the list that Cindy sends out is fine. She's already done the work to check it. So don't worry about that. But if you're doing it on your own and you're not using the list that Cindy gives you, because Cindy gives us a list that's based on a certain zip code. If you're trying to do a different zip code, you have to do the work on your own, because you don't want to end up with a lawsuit, because that's how you lose your license. So yes.
So I tried to subscribe before and it was asking for like a company
Yeah.
number. And
Shouldn't be asking for money.
it was asking for like a company, what is your company's code or company's ID?
I would ask Shannon and Sheena about that one. I'm not totally sure. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't ever call people that I have to worry about this. The people that I'm contacting are people that I have gotten through lead sources where they have given me their information. If somebody gives you their information, that is them saying you can contact me. Now, if you call them and they're like, who are you, don't contact me, don't call them again, obviously. But if you can prove that they provided the contact information, so let's say, for example, you have a lead from realtor.com, right? You pay for leads and you get one from realtor.com. That person has willingly put their information into realtor.com and has asked for information about the listing that they asked on. That is giving permission for somebody to reach out to them and give them information about that property. So if you call them, try and talk about that property, and they say, don't call me again, don't call them again. But if they were to be, sue happy, you could prove that they were the ones to reach out first, right? So just keep that in mind. For me personally, we get, I do a lot of stuff in new construction. We have people who reach out to us about our new construction. I usually will call them, or people in my own database. I have received contact information from the person who I'm calling at some form or fashion at some point. But if you're doing some type of cold calling list, please You're gonna hear it at every single KW event from here into eternity. I kid you not, every single one.
Oh, yeah, you will. You'll hear it every
Every-
session.
Every session, we're gonna go over it legally. We wanna make sure that y'all are being safe. So don't do that.
Judge, you can also get this system, these that we get in from somebody else. Like if I call somebody and say, hey, I'm doing this contest, do you have to know anybody that might be interested? And give me the number.
Oh, it's not advisors.
That shouldn't be because it has been voluntarily given.
Oh.
Correct?
It's just to protect people from businesses who can hire people
Yeah.
to drill this whole.
Yes, and that's really when it talked about auto dialers, or AI voice assistants or pre-recorded calls. That's like it's spam calls essentially what they're trying to protect you against.
Question. So here on
Yes.
page 69, bullet point number 5
Uh-huh.
says to maintain an internal DNC list, and that we should keep a record of do not call requests for 5 years. Like if someone will come to me and say, let me see your DNC list, 'cause I don't have a list. Like,
Usually, I mean, I haven't heard of anybody doing that, but your command has everybody who's on a DNC. Your command, if you have somebody in there, the command is linked to a DNC list, and it'll tell you do not call.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
What field?
Yes,
Because I've never seen
is it? I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of brevity. Because we just switched back to command from brevity, and my brain hasn't caught up yet. It should. I mean, just check it every so often.
So no one's gonna ask.
Usually not. No one's gonna audit you.
Okay.
One, you're a single agent.
Yeah.
So the likelihood of anybody coming to audit you specifically is very low. Usually that'll happen to a large team, right? Where there's multiple like inside sales agents who are doing calls, OSAs, things like that.
Gotcha,
You're okay.
gotcha, okay.
We
Okay.
fear monger it a little bit, but don't be too stressed out about it. If you do have questions, you can come to me, you can come to Sheena, you can come to Shannon. I would recommend you, since it is a legal issue, going to talk to Dave, our lovely attorney across the hall. If you've had any questions about it, but pretty much, if you're calling people inside of your database, it's not an issue.
But the burden of proof is always on you.
The burden,
Interview, they may never ask, but if they ever do ask, they expect you to
Yes.
prove it.
yes.
Yeah.
So, user beware.
Sure.
All right. Any more questions about TCPA compliance?
Got it. That's right.
All right. So, board. Has anybody seen this before?
Yes.
Quentin, you're so excited.
I love forecasts.
Good. Board is awesome. So, as you can see, board is a conversation starter. So we talked earlier about how do I start a conversation? This is how. You're going to ask them about family. Is it growing or shrinking? So, and that could be, and we're going to want to ask open-ended questions, right? You don't want to ask yes or no or single answer questions because then it shuts down the conversation. So, for example, for family, be like, hey, how's it going? I saw that your oldest just graduated. What's going on? And they'll tell you about their oldest who just graduated from Eastside High School and what school they're going to go to and who their new roommate is. And I don't like that new roommate, but it is what it, people are going to go on and on and on, right? Or maybe you talk about occupations. It's like, hey, how's your job been going? I know that you're working over at General Mills. And they'll tell you about it. Or maybe they work over at Bridgestone Tire. Or maybe they work as a police officer or a firefighter or whatever their job is. They'll tell you what's going on in their job. And maybe it'll come up that they're being relocated. I have an example of that myself. I have a friend who works for Avery. His wife is now pregnant and she and I are friends. And we have been talking about getting them ready to move. And lo and behold, he gets a promotion and has been relocated to Augusta. It's also important to stay in contact with your friends who live in other states, right? You never know when they might have a real estate need. And you can get them referred to an agent there, or maybe they're trying to relocate to where you are, right? Recreation. Talk about their hobbies. Are they tennis players? Maybe their kids are in soccer. I like to read. I'll talk to anybody about whatever book I'm reading, But then maybe that recreation leads to something like a second home. Maybe they're lake people. Wouldn't be me, but maybe they are. Who knows? Did you get that boat? Did you ever get that boat you talked about instead of renting one all the time? Dreams, are you still thinking of retiring to the mountains one day? Right? So family, how's your family doing? I heard you just had a new baby. Occupation, are you still working at this company? How are you enjoying that? Are there any work changes? You're going to want to ask open-ended questions, right? And just let them talk. Why do we ask forward questions? Forward questions are all funneling questions that lead to real estate discussions. Family is growing or shrinking. Maybe you need more or less space. Occupations require changed locations. Recreation might lead to them wanting to have a second home or move closer to what you love. Dreams happen when things change. You know, need to move to be close to your grandchildren or to retire at the beach. So take a few minutes and think of other questions for each letter and forward. Write them down and in just a minute we'll talk about them. So that'll be on page 71. Think of some other forward questions. I've already given you a couple. And if it's help you, I'm going to answer those because I have 32 ounces of water today. All right. Who has questions I want to share? You love forward?
I do love sport. Recreation. What do you have planned for the weekend?
Okay.
Occupation. How's work?
Okay.
Or you can say, did you get that raise last year?
That's a good one.
Is it close?
Does anybody else have examples? Shanika?
I just saw you post your son's graduation. What college did you looking at?
Great. Be a little careful with that because that can be a close-ended question where the answer is just, he's going to Baylor University. You know, you don't want it to be too specific. Mhm. What are his plans? That's a great one.
You ask somebody like, you know that a person went to the hospital, had surgery,
Mhm.
and you wanna know, you wanna ask, how the recovery is going.
Yeah.
The doctor recommend that maybe moving to a small house, bigger house,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that would be a good one and probably in terms of
I mean,
occupation, family. Yeah. Yes.
Tell me about parents. How was the trip?
Fantastic. Recreation. Dreams, maybe.
Their parents are aging out.
Yeah. Hey, how are your parents doing? I know that there was some health concerns. How's your mom? You know? Maybe mom had a fall. Maybe mom needs to move in. Happens all the time. So these are great. This is a great framework for when you don't know what to ask. You can always ask about these things. All right. So we already kind of did it. Create open-ended forward questions. I'm going to let you guys do that on your own time. However, if you look at the bottom of page 73, more forward questions with AI. There's an AI prompt there for you to put into ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whichever one you choose. Act as a real estate agent coach, helping me practice building conversations with my sphere of influence. Use the Ford framework, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, to generate a list of 5 to 7 natural, friendly questions in each category that I could use in casual conversations, i.e. phone calls, text, or coffee meetups. Make the question open-ended, warm, and not salesy. Also, suggest 2 follow-up questions for each category that would keep the conversation going if the person shares something interesting. Great. That gives you an excellent framework. And then you can also use that later to role play. You can role play with a partner. You can role play with AI, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So go ahead later, do that AI prompt and fill in your questions. I'm going to speed through this, guys. We've been chatting, it's been fantastic. So, activity. We're going to skip this because we do not have the time. This is when you would be making your calls. So, role play. Again, we're going to talk about AI role play. It's a great tool if you don't have somebody to role play with, but I highly encourage every single one of you to find somebody in this class that you'll be willing to role play with, so you can practice those conversations, right? Get your reps in. Because the alternative, which is what I do, is just make the calls and stumble your way through it. You can fail forward, whichever one you want to do. But role playing might make it a little easier. So, using the Ford method to make your calls later. So these could be your check-in calls with people, right? So. Yeah, keep going. All right. AI. Who in here uses AI? Yeah. AI has very quickly become a prominent part of our jobs. It can help us do a lot of things, but it is also a responsibility to know how to utilize it effectively and efficiently. So, adhering to a TCPA compliant way, here's how you can use AI to help you with your Ford method. So, legal notice, all right, legal notice must say verbatim. This is what it's telling me to do. So, every day in class, we will make calls to people we know and who are connected to. Before you make any calls or texts, please remember to honor the TCPA and do not call list, including those of your market center and state. If you have any questions or concerns about this, please consult your market center or attorney to ensure compliance. Also, any market center or state do not call list. Refer to guidelines in your participant guide for more details. These guidelines are for your protection as well as the protection of your clients. There you go. And then it says for the next 30 minutes, we're going to call people. We don't have the next 30 minutes because we still got stuff to go. So that is your main homework, is to call your folks, right? So when we do that, you're going to call in. When we call people, you're going to use it to do your Ford method. We're getting to the part of the module that I did not have a chance to highlight. So if I get a little wild, I apologize. So it'll say how many conversations did you have? Did you discover anything relevant to their current or future real estate needs? What felt like a win for your conversations? What challenges did you face? I highly encourage that you guys do this after we're done for today. Whenever you do that, that's fine. Just have it done before tomorrow because they're going to ask you about your stuff. But this is going to be really informative for you, right? So use AI to boost your real estate business. Now that we have not done our first role play, this is the perfect time to talk about how AI can help you in your business. AI will not replace real estate agents, but AI will replace real estate agents who aren't using AI. Agents who use AI will replace agents who don't. That's the correct phrase. So let's learn how we can use it for role play, which is super helpful. AI can't build trust with a nervous first-time home buyer. It can't navigate the delicate emotions of a seller leaving their family home, and it can't read a room during tense negotiations. But what AI can do is become the best, most efficient, and most importantly, unpaid assistant you've ever had. Right with the right plan and actions, it can rescue you from mundane and repetitive activities that drain your time and energy. One role it can play in your business is your active role play partner. So you're going to go check out the AI playbook on Connect for great information and tools on how to use AI. So take a picture of that if you don't have it in your books. These are great prompts that you can do for role play conversations with AI. So for example, create a new introduction conversation framework. I'm a brand new agent who wants to reach out to my sphere of influence. Please write 3 different introduction conversations I can use when telling people I'm a real estate agent for the first time. Make each one sound conversational, approachable, and professional. Include one that is very casual, one that's a little more polished, and one that is more direct. And you can pick from which one you want depending on who you're calling and what kind of an interview they're going to respond to. Again, role play conversations with AI. Please role play with me as if you were someone in my sphere of influence. I will use the conversation framework to introduce myself as a real estate agent, and I'd like you to respond naturally. Act sometimes supportive, sometimes neutral, and sometimes skeptical, so I can practice different scenarios. After a few exchanges, please give me constructive feedback on what I did well and what I can improve. Great.
That is cool. I've not done that with my
No.
AI yet.
AI can do all kinds of stuff, and this is one of them. You can use that to help you practice your scripts, right? It can help you build the scripts, and then it can help you practice them. Fantastic. We love to see. So, use AI to boost your real estate business. Again, check out the AI playbook on Connect. Super useful information about how to leverage AI in your business. You can have AI help you with database tagging and organization, marketing ideas, writing help, open house prep, market explanations, role play objections, time blocking and productivity, client education, event ideas, and brainstorming and network angles. Again, important. Any material given to you by AI, it is your responsibility to check for accuracy. It is still a machine, and it can and will get things wrong. So if something seems a little off to you, double check it. And you can tell AI that it's wrong. I've had to do it before. And it'll just be like, oh, you're right, I was wrong. Here's the fix. Sometimes it just gets it wrong. So I've used it with writing help, with descriptions for NLS. I've used it for email help with constructing emails to sound professional but still friendly. I've used it sometimes with role-playing objections. I need to do more of that. It has definitely helped me with time blocking and productivity, with helping me lay out my days to be the most productive. Client education, it's helped me with that as well, where I'll put in ideas of what I want to talk about and the information that I have, and it'll help me organize it in a way that makes sense. And polish it for to be easily understood. Because ultimately we're real estate agents, and we talk to real estate agents all day, and we think that there's certain language that we use that everyone knows, and then your clients have no idea what you're talking about. If you say inventory, it means very different things to different people. If you're talking to somebody who works in retail, they're going to think about how many shirts they got stocked in the back. So, something to keep. 7 compliance tips for AI use in real estate. The TCPA prohibits AI voice calls unless you have received prior express consent from the call recipient. Use your image compliantly, including those you upload into AI tool or AI generated ones. Do not use AI to create content you wish to protect with copyright. Protect client confidentiality. AI can be unreliable. Follow all applicable advertising laws and keep it ethical. So don't go having AI, generate an image for you and then you use it and say that you made it. And more so than anything, if you're going to use an auto dialer or like a voice agent, don't be doing that unless you've had express consent for people to do so. So, yep. Connect with your network. What is this? 7 compliance tips for AI use in real estate. Yeah, that just goes into more depth about what I just said. If you want to read up more on that, it's in your book. It's page 81. Can you tell that I'm running out of steam?
Yes.
Yeah. We got 30 minutes left, folks. We're gonna plow through this together. Stay with me and I will stay with you. Connect with your network. You can create numerous conversations competition that works with AI, so you can master talking to people in real estate. These conversations will also can focus on your sphere of influence, network, people you meet at open houses, or any other group that you want to build businesses with. So here's some other conversation frameworks that you can look into. When you reach out to people in your network, your conversations may not be as personal as the conversation you have with someone in your sphere of influence, since you aren't as close with them. However, the goal is to further their relationship with them. So again, depending on who you're talking to is going to change the types of questions that you're asking. So if you're getting to know someone, you're going to want to ask more about their day-to-day life, and naturally those more nitty-gritty details are going to come from service. But when you're just meeting somebody at an open house, for example, you're going to want to be like, hey, so what brought you in? How did you find out about our open house? Maybe they saw an online marketing piece. Maybe they got a flyer in the mail somewhere. And maybe they just saw the sign with the balloon on the side of the road, which 90% of the time that's going to be the case. But they're at an open house. Why are they there? So you can ask, are you actively in the market? Are you actively looking for a home right now? If they say yes, you can have a conversation about their needs. If they say no, we're just looking, I would go ahead and give them space and time and then catch up with them later in the house while they're looking. You don't want to pressure people too much when they're in an open house. But that's just an example of the types of conversations that you'll have with somebody. You're not going to talk to the person you just met in an open house the same way you're going to talk to your best friend of 20 years. Or maybe we do. Yes, David.
Can you give me examples how you press or not to press people in the open houses? Like,
Not to press people in an open house?
yes.
Yeah, so people who go in, I kind of approach it in the way that I would feel if I go into an open house. I don't want to be bombarded with questions from somebody the second I walk in a house, because then it feels like you're pressuring them into a sale, and then people shut down. You be friendly, you welcome them in, have them sign in. If they refuse to sign in, do not press them. You can't make them do it, but encourage them to sign in. Sometimes if you have a little bit of resource where it's a bigger open house that you've marketed further, maybe you'll have a raffle. People will always sign up for free stuff because they want the basket of whatever's in there. So, but if you find somebody who's a little more standoffish when they come into the open house, if you have a little flyer or digital code that has the information of the house, you can hand it to them or direct them to it. Say, if you have any questions about the home, please feel free to let me know. Here's an informational pamphlet on the home. Please feel free to take a look around and let me know if you have any questions, and let them go. Depending on how busy it is, I'll either just sit at the front and wait till they walk all the way through, or if they're taking time to look through the house, then I'll go find them. If it's been longer than about 5 minutes, I'll go and find them and say, hey, what do you think so far? And sometimes after that time, they'll be a little more vocal, and sometimes they won't be. You never know. But just be friendly and open to be helpful, and not so much, so what do you think of the house? You want to put an offer in? Some people respond well to the direct approach. I'm not one of those people. I'm an introvert and I don't want to be talked to. But if I want to talk to you, I'll come to you in my own time. And most people will do the same. Mm-hmm. Any other questions about how to talk to people in different situations? Cool. All right. So, database truths. All right. It's important to understand there are 5 truths of the database, and when you have mastered them, you master running a big business that meets your needs and serves your clients. When you don't, you limit yourself and you limit your business. So, truth number one, maintaining your database is an income-generating activity, not an administrative burden. This is so, so true. We are lead generators. That is our main job description. We need to feed our database, and we need to connect with that. Incomplete or inaccurate data leads to lower conversation rates. Again, very true. If you don't have the information in front of you, you don't know, you haven't researched the topic well enough, it can stall a conversation, and sometimes it'll even cost you a deal. Referring or transferring a messy database from one system into another creates a bigger mess. Clean up your database if you're going to transfer it anywhere. Because if you don't do it, you just transfer the mess somewhere else and it'll keep growing, and then you'll never go through and clean it out. So, important to do that every so often. I would personally recommend doing it once a quarter. just going through your list and seeing who's in there, who you've talked to, who you haven't touched, who's got accurate information, just keeping an eye on it periodically so it doesn't get out of hand. But that is so much easier said than done. I totally understand. Failing to keep in touch with your database negates the reason to have one at all. What's the point of having a database if you don't touch it? It's just sitting there. Meaningful touches create meaningful relationships. When you come to somebody with relevant information that is valuable to them, they want free information, they want to learn. So, even meaningful touches can be just checking in, being like, hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a little bit. What's going on in your life? That's it. That's all you have to do. Maintaining a relationship with somebody. It doesn't always have to be, here's a valuable piece of information. Here's a home valuation. Here's a buyer's guide. Here's a list of whatever. Sometimes it can be as little as, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? Care about you. Any ahas on the section or the concept of a database? Anything that stood out to you? Are we tired and ready for food? Yeah, I get it. All right. So
Is there something in command where you can print out the information that's there?
you are able to export your database, and you can choose how much you want to do, and then you can print that list off. It'll export it into a CSV file.
So I could export my notes. I mean, imagine this, I'm traveling somewhere. and I know when I get there, I'm gonna have 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk to these 3 people,
Mhm.
but I haven't read all their notes. And I just print out their notes. So when I'm sitting in the car, I have something to read. Or
You
do
can.
I need to bring the computer with me?
Well, if you have your Command mobile app on your phone, you're going to have your phone with you anyway. And you can just select those people and read the notes on your phone. But if you really wanted to have a physical copy of it, it would take a little bit more time on the front end, but you should be able to select people and then export that information out. I would recommend talking to Sheena or talking to Scott Leroy about anything technical in that regard.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Win the morning with the day. Who's heard that? Morning with the day. We love that. Win the morning with the day. That's so true. We are well past the morning. We're all slowing down. And I think that proves my point. Get done the most important things to you in the morning. That's why they have your Legion in the morning, right? So, setting the tone early in your day can impact everything else that follows. For our purposes, morning is the first 6 hours of your day whenever you wake up. So for me, I usually get up around 7. That would be 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. My 6 hours are coming to a close, right? You are most productive in the first 6 hours when you get up. So it's very important to set your mornings up right? If you win the morning, you will win the day. Win the morning means starting every day with actions that pour into us. Our goal with Win the Day is winning the morning so we can set ourselves up to reach our goal. If you didn't take this approach, what would be the alternative? Lose the day? Lose the morning and the day? Don't want to be doing that. We ain't losers. So, there's a thing called the Millionaire Agent, Real Estate Agent Energy Plan. If you've read the MRA, you've seen this before. Maybe you've seen it before in other ways. Has anybody seen this before?
Yes.
Oh, look. Thank you, Ava. Everybody should have seen it because it's right here on our wall.
Yeah.
Love that. It's right there. And it's actually super helpful when you dig into it. So, Gary Keller discussed 5 areas where he needs energy: spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, and business. They are likely the same for you. These are areas of all parts of the MREA energy plan. Following the energy plan is how you win the morning and eventually win the day. While an energy plan is essential, what fuels the first 4 areas is deeply personal. How much time you spend on each of those 4 areas is also very personal. So, would anybody like to share how they gain energy in your top 4 areas? So that would be spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental. Who has a morning ritual that like they always start their day the same? Sheena.
I meditate every single morning.
All right. Do you have a meditation? Like, do you have a journal that you meditate on? Do you have a quote that you like to think about? What does meditation look like for you?
So for me, when I wake up around 4:35 a.m., I pray meditation music in the background.
Okay,
And then when I get done, I meditate on scripture.
okay,
Or I may journal.
okay.
It all depends on how the meditation went.
All right. David.
Yeah, I'm on routine too. I pray in the morning and then read, so read,
Mhm.
then I do exercise and then I do my day.
Love that. So you're hitting a bunch of them right at the beginning. Anybody else? Quentin?
There's a book, I forget about it, what it's called, Miracle Morning.
Mhm.
Y'all get opportunity, you have to read that one, it's great. They have a concept called savers. It is, silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and then scribing. I did that for an entire year, and it absolutely just changes your entire day. And one of the things that I do all the time is gratitude. I will always wake up, it's like the first thing that I do, gratitude.
I love it. Anybody else?
Pray.
Pray? Yeah.
Pray, read the Bible,
Mhm.
you know, just do all the things you talk about God
Yeah.
and just start getting ready to come outside, start on space, the streets.
That's awesome. Okay.
Pray. Get my husband ready for work,
Mhm.
mom, and exercise.
Exercise is super important. So for me personally, my meditation comes when I'm doing my makeup in the morning. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, but when I put energy into myself and my appearance, that is when I am like being mindful of my body, how I'm feeling, what I need to do to start my day. I probably need to get better about exercising, but I'm an exercise at night kind of gal, so you won't catch me getting up at 4:30 in the morning, I can tell you that right now. And I have mad respect for anybody who does. But the examples that we've got here from Gary are meditate and pray, which is spiritual energy, exercise and eat, physical energy, hug, kiss, and laugh, emotional energy, spending time with your family in that regard or whoever you live with. Plan and calendar and mental energy, and then lead generate, which is business energy. So this is a really good outline for your morning. You get your spirit right, you get your body right, you get your mind right. You get your emotional self right, and then you're ready to go. So on page 89, you've got how many minutes you want to give these things. So approximately 3 hours for lead generation. That's going to be your minimum, maybe 2.5 hours for lead gen. But how does the rest of your morning look? How much time would you give each one of these things? What do you need? And there's not a right or wrong answer for that. That's just how you need to start your morning. I'll give you all a couple minutes to do that. We're so close, y'all. We got 12 minutes left. And it doesn't necessarily need to be in that order, right? Maybe the first thing that you do in the morning is get up and do your exercise if that's the kind of thing that you do. Maybe the first thing you do in the morning is get breakfast ready for your family. Make sure they're fueled for the day. Maybe you're a physically affectionate person. Maybe you need to have a little snuggle with your spouse for 10 minutes. Who knows? So, maybe you do need to meditate. Maybe you do need to pray absolutely first thing in the morning before you start anything else. Yeah. This is all about what's going to give you the energy to win the morning, win the day, right? Are we good to move on? Yeah. All right. So, lead generation. Lead generation includes time, or your lead generation time includes your lead gen, your lead follow-up, role playing, and presentation practice. The more you role play, the more comfortable you will be, and the more natural, confident, and professional you will sound. So at the end of our session, you're going to have conversations with 10 people. Keep track of how long this takes you so you can start to analyze how much time you need to spend on your lead generation and how to energize your business. Most successful agents report lead generating from 2 to 3 hours a day at minimum. For new agents, this time might be even longer if you don't yet have appointments to take up your time and building your sales pipeline from scratch. That is so tough, y'all. Lead generating for 3 hours is so tough. I can barely do it for 1. But the more time you put into it, the better the results are going to be, right? So maybe, and this is something I want to make sure. If you can't do 3 hours, but you can do 2, show up for 2. If you can't do 2 hours, but you can show up for 1, do 1. If you can't show up for 1 hour, but you can do 30 minutes, show up for 30 minutes. It's all about consistency, and it's about showing up for yourself, for your family, for your business, right? So consistency, and then work your way up. The longer you do it, the easier it'll be. So on the next page, there's Jennifer Young's story. I recommend that you read that. The secret to Jennifer's massive success is that she has no secret. She simply regenerates consistently. TLDR, lead gen. That's the whole point of this, right? So.
What is TLPR?
Too long didn't read.
Too long didn't read.
It refers to it's young person slang. Sorry, but sorry, it's almost slang. But basically, TLDR stands for too long didn't read. In context to the post was too long. Here are the key takeaways.
Okay.
I didn't read the whole thing. Here's what you needed.
Gotcha. Okay.
So next time you hear someone say TLDR, you don't know what we're talking about. All right. So you also want to make time for lead follow-up during your mornings. As you start having more and more conversations, you'll have more reasons to reach back out to people in your database. We'll talk more about this in lead follow-up in session 2. To become comfortable with the conversations you'll have while generating and following up with leads, you'll want to do role play and presentation practice daily. So that's going to be your bio presentations and your listing presentations, right? Role play is how we internalize what we say as we generate and follow up with our leads. Winging conversations will not get you very far. It takes daily practice. This is so true, guys. And it sucks, but we gotta do it. Role play can create a safe place to practice, which helps us reduce or eliminate apprehension or fear you might have regarding making calls or knowing what to say. Other real estate agents make great role-playing partners. Role-playing with a partner increases your time on task, helping you improve more quickly. The more you practice, the more natural, confident, and professional you will sound. I know that on our weekly lead gen calls on Tuesdays, correct?
Yes.
Quentin does lead gen or does role-play practice before we make our calls. So that's a great place to start.
Come on. Water spot.
Time blocking. I'm very passionate about time blocking, y'all. This is where my system started getting into gear. So now that you know what you're going to do and how long it will take with your energy plan, we're going to put it into your calendar. We will use the concept of time blocking to set blocks of time on your calendar to ensure you are doing all the necessary activities. We will continue building on your calendar with daily activities as we learn about them in the coming sessions. Before we time block for your energy plan, though, let's take a sneak peek at what your calendar is going to look like at the end of Breakthrough 2020. So that's what it'll look like, right? So spiritual, that's kind of what when the morning will look like. That's what your mornings will look like with rough estimates. You can build that out on your own with your own time slots. But for the next couple of days with Breakthrough 120, you'll be here from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day for the next 4 days. So Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Love that. And you're gonna learn a whole lot of stuff. Again, I mentioned this before, but the MREA and One Thing podcasts are super, super important. They're full of valuable information. You can listen to them wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Maybe I should have been a YouTuber. All right. So we made it to the end, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. I'm super proud of you guys for hanging in there with me. This is the first time I have taught a class of this length.
You did great.
Y'all are saints for putting up with me for as long as you did. So, in today's session, we covered the importance of a robust database for a big business, explained the importance of your sphere of influence to your database. We introduced you to the Ford method of communication with your sphere of influence. We also talked about ways that you can expand your network in a TCPA compliant way. What are some ahas you have from this first session? It could be about anything we talked about today. What's one thing that stood out to you? Bookmark business cards or whatever works for you and your personality, right? Finding a thing that represents you as a person.
The difference between a lead and a contact.
The difference between a lead and a contact, and believe it or not, you will forget and we will go over it again because I do constantly.
Leading with how versus what.
Yeah, leading with how. That's a great one. Anybody else?
Marketing and perspective.
Yeah, the difference between marketing and prospecting. That's a super important one to know because that's how you're going to make your money, right? Anything else, y'all? Those are all super great ahas.
Ken does not call you back. Ken will not call you first.
Ken will not call you first, but you gotta believe he's gonna answer that phone or call you back. Let me tell you. All right, so after our first session, complete the 24-hour recall and explain your network activities. If you haven't already started them, I know that we didn't have time to do the expand your network. It's super, super, super encourage you to do so. That's a great lesson to have. Continue reaching out to the people who know, like, and trust you until you have had at least 10 real estate conversations. You need to have 10 2-minute long real estate conversations before tomorrow. You will talk about them tomorrow. Be sure all contacts you have reached out to today are on your database spreadsheet or in command. We didn't do a database spreadsheet, then you can be in command. Even if you didn't get a chance to speak with them, add tags for each new contact. Cool. So, learning application. We already did that. I already talked to you about that. Be ready to share your progress report at the beginning of each section. So that's going to be number of contacts added to your database, number of calls made, number of real estate conversations you had, real estate follow-up opportunities, challenges, and aha. It's super important to talk about your challenges, guys, because if you're being challenged with them, somebody else might be too. Or maybe someone else doesn't have that particular challenge and they could tell you how they overcame it. So these are super important conversations y'all are going to have tomorrow. That's all I got, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harper. You did an amazing job. So tomorrow, did you all enjoy that?
Yes.
Good, good. So today we're working on the database, and tomorrow we will, in section 2, we will learn about following up with your database. All right. So you all come prepared, come ready, come energized, and we're gonna get to it and eat and have a good time. Bring your homework. We're gonna discuss homework before class starts. Okay. Do your homework and then bring your music. All right. Lunch is outside.
We take the books with us, leave them here.
It's up to you. Hey, but you get what did I call for you? That was very.
Right, right.
Y'all are troopers for hanging in there with me.
Might have a couple.
Your energy stayed up here.
Girl, I was trying to.
I think I have some. One that breaks down like that.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think I have.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
you want the actual spread for 4 hours. I have to.
And we skip stuff too. We all were having really good conversations, so it was important that we needed to do that. I think that's more valuable than trying to stay on task and, you know. Y'all know how to make calls. If you need my phone number, it is up here on the board in green.
678-544.
There it is. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions about anything. I'm happy to help however I can. Yes. I am not. Bree is teaching tomorrow. I'm just teaching the first class. You're gonna have somebody different every day. Well, maybe. We'll find out. It'll depend on what I got going on. Of course, I know. I'm more than happy to.
I wouldn't let.
Ah. It's time for me to go.
Yeah, the formula's already in it. So what?
What do you do?
Just say no. If you're not gonna do it.
I need to give you information for the walk-in material.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do you?
what type of material do you need? I don't know yet. Don't like those yet, but I don't have any.
I can do flyers, I can.
I was on. Yeah. So just tell you.
Yeah.
Like
the sheet of color. Yeah.
So like color books for kids?
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt your lunch. Okay.
Good to see you, man.
All right, then. All right.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Sure.
I'm Shay. Michelle, nice to meet you. Thanks for all that insight.
No, I designed for her. Cause she sold what I did for myself. But I have two. I have an activity book and then I have one telling my story.
And how long did it take you to get your moments?
So she just like, you know, she did one of the home activity books.
After that first year, after that. Yeah.
You've been at this location.
I went one time, I left 1 year.
Okay. Good deal.
That's right. And I'm back.
I know. It's perfect. I'm glad you did this.
It's the car. It's just right here.
It's forever changing. It's forever changing. So each year there's something new. Yeah. And sometimes if you don't go to those, you won't know. So like last year, I didn't go to last year.
Yeah.
Was all about social media.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I don't know a lot.
Right, sure does.
I have my niece, and she does
Yes, right now, everything, so it's like, here, do this, do something with it.
I've had it, I'm trying to like, I just have a lot going on.
Okay, take care.
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to like snap out of it. I'm trying to snap out of it.
And do you know who Jordan's called her? She okay?
I spoke to her yesterday, but she has a lot going on with the son, so.
But then they had a prom graduation or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, tell her I'm thinking about it.
I will.
It's fun to get on here.
My clients, I tried when she finally responded, because I listed the house like last week. I got like 3 calls for the show. She didn't have the house ready.
That's,
I was supposed to put it on the market because like the show sale because the bank.
Is
She
it,
just,
right.
so I was able to get
is
it
it
like.
in the group chat or is it like?
And I let her know, hey, what's gonna get. She had 2 months to clean this place up.
She's willing to talk to you.
She don't care. After
6 of them. Call
Can't tell
them
if
every
it's a
day.
joke all the time. And you can briefly talk. Yeah, like that, like that, like that.
Yeah. I can get tickets inside the house there because I don't have the keys like that. You're supposed to get the keys to find out the company now. And I'm like,
You know,
yeah. So I'm just.
Right. Right.
So I had a hard time trying to get what price up because it was like, I didn't get anything in the area. So I found it a couple of
Right.
and that's how we came up with the price. And the guys were really cool, like I was talking to them, they were really cool with them. I'm like, hey, I was like, oh, do I need to send anything out, or do you guys request anything? He's like, no, you're all good. I'm like, no, give me some answers. He sends me an email, like, list of stuff that's not allowed, and this like, so it's really nice.
I'm gonna have a little fire.
Hopefully this works out. And I can myself, because I'm getting like that, like, I'm freely on the infrared right now. One's looking in, Stockbridge, the other one's like, where you want this rental. And the other one, I'm still in the, I can show you, I have one of the information, and I'm going to see that it works. So I already told one is referral. So hopefully I can.
You trying to do this for rental?
Yeah, it was rental, but I'm sorry that I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going to be rental, but, you know. I was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were trying to $500. Then I told them $500.
But you can, with rentals, usually you can, get more from the land.
Trying to figure out what to put.
Yeah, well, that's, I got a lot of work, but what I.
Alright, yeah, tomorrow.
I'm like, I'm gonna part-time, if the landlord gives me that, I'll give them back their
Right.
$500. But just.
All right,
for
okay.
hey, bye, I know tomorrow. Because she was like, 10 on the house. She was, like, 310. They're crazy.